What's going on YouTube? It's Jacob with Total Barber, and thank you for tuning in to this video. It is a mid bald fade with kinky curly hair, some of my favorite hair to cut. So I hope you guys enjoy it, and I hope you guys learn something from it. If you are new to my channel, I encourage you to subscribe and like, and check out some other videos on my channel. We do quite a few of these. We've also done some tool reviews and some barber shows, so go check them out and stay tuned for this video, and I hope you guys enjoy it. Alright, let's jump into this video, and I want to say first, with this hair texture, make sure you brush it all down, get it all laying where it wants to lay. It'll just make your cut so much easier. And then once you get it all laying down right, set in your bald line. Now I like to start by the ears, on top of the ears. It just helps me even each side out a little faster and a little better. It's just a little trick for me. You don't have to do it however you feel comfortable doing it. Now I do drop it down in the back, as you can see here. I think it fits my client. He likes it, so that's basically it. So go ahead and set your bald line in, get it all cleaned up, and we'll go on to the next step. Alright, after the bald line is in, I normally don't do it like this, but I'm taking a 1.5 and just trimming down the top of his hair, debulking it. He was growing it out a little bit. He has some waves and he wanted to enhance those waves, but I really think the long hair was kind of driving him crazy, so he asked me just to go ahead and take the top down for him. Now when you do this, the biggest thing I can suggest is, before you even touch a clipper, look at the pattern in his head and make sure you are going with the pattern. Don't go against it, because you will patch your client, and that's not a fun experience, trust me. So go with the pattern, and that's basically it. It'll make it easier and faster. Alright, now that we took down the top, like always, the very next thing after the bald line is no guard open. You can set this guideline in about 1/4 to 1/2 inch, and me personally, I take this line out immediately. I don't wait until the end and come back down like I do with the other guidelines. Personally, I think this is the most difficult line to get out, so I prefer just to get it out right away. It just makes, I feel like it makes me faster. It makes me be able to spend more time detailing my client. So if you haven't tried it, give it a shot. After the no guard open guideline and you took out the bottom line, the bald line, grab your 1 guard and open the lever again and set your next guideline. And this next guideline can be a little higher than your original, just because this is technically the last guard we'll use. Now you see me kind of cutting to the side, and that's because my client brushes his hair a lot, so he brushes it forward, so even around the crown his hair lays forward. So in order for me to cut it, I kind of have to angle the clipper. You might find that you just have to, angle it a little bit and make sure that you're just, basically adjusting to each situation. Every client's head is different. And then you see me flip my clipper over and go back with the grain, and that's just cleaning things up, trying to blend my 1 guard open with the grain to my 1 guard open against the grain, and cleaning up some bulk. I also, when I set in this guideline, I'll go back and close my lever with the 1 guard and soften that bottom line out, and that's because I'm basically skipping a guard. With wall, you have a half guard, and at the end, this will be my last guideline. I will go back and knock that guideline out with my half guard at the very end. Alright, so here I'm using the wall 1.5 guard. This is a different guard from the one open. This wall actually makes a 1.5. Now the only reason I'm using this is because I still had some dark areas in between the one open with the grain and the 1.5, or the one open against the grain. And I love this guard because it worked out perfect. So that's just another little trick you can use. If you're one of those barbers that don't believe in this guard, that's fine. You know, use whatever you prefer to use. So now we have the half guard. Now we're just gonna flick that bottom line out, and this is where the haircut comes together. Another thing I do with this guard is I'm only using the corners, because you basically skip the guard. If you just dug in with the full blade, you would set another guideline in. So only use the corners, and this hair is super tricky, so you'll see me snap off the guard and use no guard open with the corner just to clean some areas up. And as I go along on each side of the head, knocking this line out, I will detail a little bit. So this is basically the cut. Very simple, just a couple steps, and I feel like it's a decent cut. So remember that as a new barber, I remember thinking that it almost has to be like this complex process to get a nice haircut, but it's really not. Keep it simple, and I'm telling you, some of the best haircuts I ever did were with some of the simplest cutting I've done. So just remember that. And another thing I want to say, and I've said this multiple times in many other videos, is if you've allotted your client 40 minutes for his haircut and you took 20 minutes on his haircut, like this haircut, it was pretty quick. It didn't take me very long, but I allowed my client 40 minutes. So I'm not just going to kick my client out of the chair. I want to make my client feel like I really care about his haircut, so I detail it. I just go back and I look in the mirror and make sure there's nothing I missed, and I'll take shears to the top of his head to get those little hairs that stick up, and I'll run over it again. So that's just a tip that not a lot of barbers tend to do these days. You could be a mediocre barber, but your client could love you and feel like you really take care of him, and he's not going to sit anywhere else. Even though he can go up the street and get a better haircut, doesn't matter. He thinks you're the best barber. So just remember that. Take care of your clients and they'll take care of you. When you start on his edge up, make sure that you brush everything forward. And I had a really good friend of mine. He's an excellent barber, and he gave me a tip one time, and he said, if you're right-handed, start from the middle and start left first. Knock your weakest side out before you do your strongest side. Now, in my case, that really helped me, because there were multiple times that I started in the middle and went right, and when I got to the left side, I struggled, and it was either too low, too high. It just wasn't working out. So after I started doing this, it really helped me, and basically I haven't struggled since then. Another great thing to do, and remember this, if you're in barber school, you probably heard it a million times, your mirror is your best friend, especially with an edge up. Now, it's just weird how just getting a different perspective on your haircut, you can see the little details that you missed just looking at your client. So remember to use your mirror. So this is the finishing touches. I'm just blending in his beard for him so he doesn't walk out of the shop looking weird. He doesn't want me to touch his beard this time, so instead of just leaving it and going away, I'm just gonna do it for him so it looks like it's supposed to be there. But this is basically the cut. I really appreciate all of you who are watching, and to my subscribers, you're the best. Thank you for sticking by me and coming together, and we're learning together. And for the new watchers, I hope that you would consider subscribing and liking this video. That's Little Barber. We just love anything barbering, and we do anything barbering. So if you're interested in that, please subscribe. And until the next video, I will see you then.